We are at the Balasore station's panel room, where all the activity essentially takes place. I'll try, with the help of the station master, explain what really goes in for the movement of the trains, and when we are essentially trying to say that the tracks were changing, how exactly is it done. सबसे पहले आपसे समझने की कोशिश करूंगा कि ये जो पैनल आप जो दिखा रही है, पैनल आखिरकार है क्या, और इसमें कैसे ये जो ट्रेन की पासिंग होती है वो कैसे होती है, थोड़ा आप हमें समझाइए।
पैनल हम लोग का मूवमेंट जितना ट्रेन होता है वो पैनल में पैनल और वीडियो दो किस्म होता है। हमारा पैनल जब काम नहीं करता तो वीडियो में चलाते हैं, वीडियो कभी कभी यदि काम नहीं करता कभी कभी हम लोग चेंज करके उसको करते हैं। जहाँ डुअल वीडियो है वो ओनली वीडियो में चलता है, वहाँ पैनल नहीं होता है। तो गाड़ी कोई दो तरफ स्टेशन है, दोनों तो साइड स्टेशन होता है, एक दोनों साइड रेयर स्टेशन होता है, तो वो स्टेशन को हम लाइन कलर देते हैं। वो एक ठो देखिए इंस्ट्रूमेंट ब्लॉक देखिए, घूमसला का पहले जो इंटरलॉक्ड गेट वगैरह होता है तो वो गेट वगैरह हमारा फॉर्मेलिटी जो होता है उसको बंद करना पड़ता है। बंद करने के बाद होम सिग्नल देते हैं।
आप इंटरलॉकिंग गेट की बात,
गेट वगैरह इंटरलॉक्ड गेट जो हमारा सिग्नल का साथ इंटरलॉक्ड है, तो पहले हम लोग गेट वगैरह बंद करते हैं, इसके बाद हम लोग सिग्नल देते हैं। सिग्नल देने में देखिए आपको मिलेगा वीडियो में, देखिए एक तो लाल टाइप बटन है जो कि उसको सिग्नल बटन बोलते हैं। हाँ, लाल बटन,
ये इंटरलॉकिंग वाला जो सिस्टम वो, ये अगर गेट खुला रहता है तो आपको गाड़ी
नहीं होगा।
अच्छा, सिग्नल नहीं, ये आपको बंद रखना पड़ेगा जब भी कोई ट्रेन आ रही है। उसके बाद क्या होगा?
और रूट बटन होता है, ये व्हाइट वाला जो है बटन दिख रहा है ना। अच्छा, ये है, हाँ हाँ, ये सब उसको बोलते हैं रूट बटन।
अच्छा,
तो कॉन्सर्न सिग्नल बटन प्लस ये रूट बटन दबाने से हम वही जो रूट में गाड़ी लेंगे, रूट नंबर 1, रूट नंबर 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 है, जो रूट में गाड़ी लेंगे
6 लाइन है।
6 लाइन का है। यहाँ बालासोर में 6 लाइन है, कोई स्टेशन में 4 है, 3 है, ऐसा ही है। तो 6 नंबर हमारा, मान लीजिए हम 2 नंबर में गाड़ी लेंगे तो वो सिग्नल बटन और ये रूट बटन दबाने से वही कंसर्न लाइन में गाड़ी एडमिट हो पाएगा। एक बार हम लोग अगर सिग्नल दे दिए वो वही रूट में, आप कैसे भी कोशिश करेंगे तो दूसरा लाइन में रूट नहीं बना सकते,
वो चेंज नहीं कर सकते, पर वो चेंज आपको इधर से करना,
फॉर्मेलिटीज मेंटेन करना पड़ता है। वो बहुत टाइम लगता है, होगा, लेकिन वो उसका फॉर्मेलिटीज और बहुत है, लेकिन वैसा इजीली नहीं होता।
यहाँ से बैठ के कुछ नहीं कर
पाएगा, वो लॉक हो जाता है। जब तक वो गाड़ी पूरा पास नहीं होगा तब तक वो दूसरा रूट नहीं बना सकता है, लेकिन उसके लिए और दूसरा फॉर्मेलिटीज मेंटेन होता है। वो फॉर्मेलिटीज जाएंगे तो आपको बहुत बड़ा हिस्ट्री जानना पड़ेगा। तो यही होता है।
Whether at all there has been some sort of a system failure, whether at all there have been some changes that have been made, but if you've heard it from the officers here who've been handling this, they say that it's almost next to impossible that when there is already a train that is there on one line, changing it and bringing the other train to the same very track is extremely difficult. Now that's what they say. They say that as far as Coromandel is concerned, they had given the clearing and it was the next station that would have looked into. So that was a very detailed report that Shravan sent. That's the panel room from where he sent that report, the panel room. And he also spoke to the people inside the panel room, the experts who control the train traffic essentially at stations as they pass through their areas. And Shravan, why don't you tell our viewers now that the CBI inquiry has been ordered? What are the different aspects that will go into their scope of investigation vis-a-vis the traffic? So interestingly, the station superintendent, when I was speaking to him, there's a log that is basically maintained. Now that log has multiple columns which looks into every movement of a train, and every signals that have been passed on is basically monitored and it is recorded on that log. Now that log becomes very crucial because that basically gives them an idea of who is exactly responsible for the job. As far as their working shifts are concerned, they work on an 8-hour rotation period, which would mean that there are multiple people with that same position at that point in time who were involved,
And if there is an angle of manipulation, if there is sabotage, then there could be more number of people who would be involved. It would not remain only with the station superintendent or for that matter the station master. They say that when repeatedly when I asked them this question, that whether at all there is a possibility of some sort of a manipulation, they say that once it's on a particular line, it's difficult to change it. Which means that if it was set to the loop line and if they wanted to change it back to the main line, that possibility was out of the window. So it becomes very clear that there was a mistake that was made. Now, was that deliberate or not? That's exactly what the crux of the entire investigation is going to be about.
Some more trains were brought here. You were here reporting, and I think you tried to speak to some of those who came here looking for their loved ones. So, are there more special trains coming? What's the situation with people from other states? For example, there was a train that started from Tamil Nadu. I'm not sure when that is reaching here, but do we have more details of those trains and the efforts on?
So you would actually, if you just move around a little bit, you would find some people still waiting there. Probably some because there is no trains that are plying on the southeastern railways. So there's a possibility that a lot of them would be waiting for that. But a few people that I met a short while back, they came from Andhra Pradesh, and they say that the bigger challenge that they're facing, Niranjan, is the fact that they're not being able to identify the bodies. A lot of them actually went to the Balasore hospital from where you were reporting a short while back. They say that at least 4 of them, at least a case that we had just a short while back, that 4 of them have gone missing. They've not been able to identify the bodies, and they say that appeals have now been made to the Chief Minister of the respective state. In Andhra Pradesh also, they've made that appeal, that they're hoping that some sort of a mechanism would be brought into place which would actually help them to identify the bodies. So that's the other big challenge that they're facing.
And just to tell our viewers, just to show them, that's if Vijay Mukut can just turn his cameras around, so you see the signals there. One is the manual signals that you see that gives the loco pilot an indication of whether he can proceed on that track that he's designated to bring his train on at the speed he's allowed to. For example, the Coromandel Express was traveling at about 128 kilometers per hour. And once he had a clear green signal, and which is why he was traveling at that speed. And instead of going on the main line, he moved towards the loop line. And the interconnecting of the tracks did not happen. And while we were speaking to some of the people there, Shravan, and what will be the role of the station master at that particular station at which this accident took place?
So if you simply go by the claims that they are making, the entire responsibility is with that station. They say that there is a particular yard. So for example, this Balasore station would have about 2 this side and 2 on the other side that would come under one particular yard, and they are responsible for anything that happens on this track. Similarly, closer to the accident site from where you were basically reporting, that comes under a different yard altogether. So finally, the responsibility, the decision making that is done by the station master there, and of course the station superintendent, who does the day-to-day job on the hourly job that they have to do in terms of taking the decision on which line would the train actually operate and whether at all there are some changes or not. So